our very first episode. Welcome to the Chicken Dinks Podcast.
Yay!
Perfect. We are your hosts,
Mary
and Elisa. You already probably know, our 5 listeners probably already know who we are, but
just in case you don't.
just in case you're wondering and happen to stumble upon our humble podcast, we are your hosts. So,
Okay. What are we talking about today?
oh my gosh. I mean, how about let's just do a simple intro, talk about
Yes.
who we are, why Dinks, why Chica Dinks,
Yes. Do you want to begin?
Yeah, I'll talk about it. So Chica Dinks, first of all, this was born out of me and Mary's, I wouldn't say passion, but passion for yapping.
Yes.
Yes.
And
venting to each other.
Mm-hmm.
This was really, I feel like this started when we were out in that vacation and then we were on the pool
Mm-hmm.
and we were just talking about a lot of things that were like life stuff. Marriage, relationships, sex,
Uh-huh.
even just like our own bodies at 30 in our 30s. And then we started thinking, dude, these are good stuff.
Yeah.
We should start a podcast. I mean, as all friend groups decide, every friend group is like, we should start a podcast. And we totally did.
Yeah.
So then Mary's decision is to kind of center it around being dinks.
Yes. Yeah.
So what is a dink, Mary?
It is a double income, no kids household.
Exactly.
Yes.
And not that we are dinks, but we have partners. We have husbands.
Yes, we have husbands.
And we are both in couples that are currently don't have kids. And we're just living our lives just as we are. So anyway, Chica Dinks was born out of, Chica in the Filipino slang is to gossip or to chit chat, to talk. And Chica Ding is actually kind of like a tiny chick, like a chicklet or whatever.
Yeah.
And so I just thought of putting the two together, Chica Dinks.
And it
works.
works.
Yeah, and it works.
Yeah.
I think it's cute.
That was a good idea, actually.
I
Better
actually
than
really
what
like that.
ChatGPT made.
Exactly.
So,
We didn't really need ChatGPT for this one. We came up with it on our own. Yeah.
That's pretty much the gist of how this came about.
Yeah.
But the one thing that we always had before was we would talk a lot about everything on the phone, in person. And it was like constantly just talking about our lives. And sometimes we're like, man, we should have recorded that conversation from like years ago or last week or something.
Yeah.
And so now hopefully we can listen back years later. And
I know. Well, now we don't have to worry about, did I say that?
Yeah.
Because we got receipts now. So that's another thing is like one of our main idea. I mean, we're not like setting out to have this be popular or be celebrities or anything like that, but it's one way to also keep memories together.
Growth.
Yeah, have something that like our creativity to like come out right now and just have another creative outlet. But yeah, I think through our conversations we can see our growth.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like a nice timestamp of where our minds are at.
Yeah.
Because honestly, I had Zanga. I don't know if any of you listeners used to have Zanga. We're very millennials. But that's where I used to put all my thoughts and feelings. And I am talking about pages long of them.
You had some really good blogs.
Thank you.
At like what, 16?
At 16.
I remember saving a lot of your
Wow, thank you.
Your stuff because I'm like, oh, that's deep.
That was deep back then. And that's why I think it's so interesting because my ideology from back in the day, I feel like is totally different from today.
I mean, you would hope so that you know.
Yeah, you would hope so. Not everyone does that, but I've definitely grown a lot. And I think there are still some things that I hold true, but honestly, a lot of the beliefs that I had back then was more influenced from my parents and the Filipino culture, and not really because of experience and exploring. And I think even with you, like when we used to talk back in the day, it was kind of like that. But now I feel like our views have absolutely changed. And that's why I think this podcast, we wanted to do this because it's definitely changed a lot. And especially within the topic of having kids, you know, and the whole dinks thing. That's really what we want to focus as part of the podcast, but not totally, not fully.
No. Our first episode mostly.
Yeah.
But I did want to ask you, so how long have you been with your partner?
Well,
for our listeners.
For our listeners who don't know, actually, I feel like some of our family don't even really know the history either, but I feel like we kind of started around the same time. 2011, 2012. We started talking, and then ever since then. And then we got married 2020. So we've been married for 5 years. We just celebrated our 5th year anniversary October 12th. And what about you and Jake?
Together since 2012 and married since 2017. So
that's 8 years. Yeah. Holy moly.
Right. Well, it will be. Oh no, it is 8
years. It is
You're
already
right.
8 years.
Wow! Oh my gosh,
that's crazy. Wow. And just to, again, for anyone who don't know us, we're a trio basically. It's like Mary, Elisa, and Cindy. That's like a package deal. Cindy is not here with us currently. She's still here on Earth. Because I was gonna be like, she's not here with us, but like that might come out.
She's not here with us.
That might come out wrong.
She's at home with her kids.
She's at home with her kids and her husband, who happens to be my cousin. Shout out. But they've been married for 10 years.
15.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. They just celebrated.
So 10, 8, and 5.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes. That's so crazy.
That's so cool.
Yeah. And as we mentioned earlier, we're millennials. I was born in 88 and I am now 37 years old. How old are you, Mary?
38.
That's right.
Born 1987.
87. What's your sign?
Cancer. I don't know my rising.
We need to figure that out. You need to figure out like the time of your birth.
3:30 p.m. Or no, 3:30.
Oh, so you did figure it out.
Yeah. Yeah, it's on my I have it. It was like 3:50. It's like either 3:50 p.m. or something like that. It's definitely around 3 or 4 p.m.
Okay, well, we're gonna figure it out maybe for next time.
Yeah.
That will be our next topic. Is what the fuck is Mary's rising? I'm a Leo, a Gemini. Okay, wait, Leo Sun, Gemini Moon, and a Virgo rising. Yeah.
Oh,
so
the other thing we could also do a podcast on later maybe is the other stuff, like the personality one. The like, are you a 9 or an 8? Or
the Enneagram. And also the Myers-Briggs.
The INF.
Myers-Briggs.
Right.
Yeah. You know, fun, that's also changed a lot for me. I used to be like an E something, like an extrovert. And then now, definitely an introvert now.
Yeah, we should do that test. I haven't done that test in a long time. And I think the last time was in high school or maybe nursing school. And I was an I back then.
Yeah, but now.
Yeah. So
do you still feel like you're an introvert or an extrovert now?
I think I certainly get my energy from people, which I think makes me an extrovert. If like surrounded by, the more people I have around, the more energy I get. So I think that makes me an extrovert.
Yeah. Contrary to popular belief, it's not that if you're an extrovert, you're outgoing.
Yeah.
Because some introverts, like moi, I am actually outgoing, but only with the people that I'm comfortable with. Yes. But if you put me in a brand new circumstance, situation, setting, whatever, I'm mostly quiet and reserved, which actually was very interesting because, pardon, a couple weeks ago, I went with Johan, my husband, to a Beers and Cameras event in Seattle.
That's right.
And the flip is so funny because usually, when we're hanging out, oh, oop, sorry, I'm a yapper and I'm loud. So anyway, like when we're usually in social settings, Johan is the one who's more reserved, and I'm the one who's like out there, very outgoing. But this event,
it's the opposite.
Total opposite. He was the one. He was like a social butterfly. He was asking everyone questions, and at some point, I started to get really drained, and I was just like sitting in the corner, not talking to anyone. I was just on my phone. It was
like too much.
Yeah.
Yeah, too much stim.
Yeah. And I needed basically a whole week to recharge from that event. I didn't even want to talk to anyone. I didn't even see you guys for a while. I mean, you were busy too, but.
Yeah. Yeah, no, you said that. You were saying like you were also quiet on our group chats.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, that's good. At least you're like, you need to like chill. Like, what your body needs. What is it that you told me? Listen to your body.
You got to listen to your body. Yeah. Clock it.
Wait, what is it?
Clock it.
This
Clock
one.
It.
Okay.
Clock it.
Clocked. Okay.
Well, one of these is clocked, okay? I'm just doing all my fingers now.
Just do all of it.
Clocking it. Yeah, actually, just to give a background of me and Mary's friendship, I would actually transition to that because you found me.
Yeah.
You picked me up. You raised me up. Anyway.
Yeah.
What's your POV on how we met?
Well, I remember it was junior high anatomy and physiology class.
Yeah.
And I think I remember this was like my junior year, and I remember thinking in my head, I was like, I need to make friends because freshman and sophomore year, I did not make any friends. And I was like, I need to have like someone because I felt like I was really like a loner. I was a loner for like freshman, sophomore year is what I felt. Yeah, because I didn't make any friends then. So I was like, I need to get out there, get outside my comfort zone. And I was like, I'm going to introduce myself to someone I feel would be comfortable. And it's another Filipina girl.
Wait, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's not your normal, like that's not how you make friends.
That wasn't how it was before. Not at all.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
I say that it's interesting because obviously I moved from the Philippines in 2001. So I was basically new here. Like I was only here for about 4 years when you met me. And I remember going through the first few years of high school also I've had friends. I was lucky enough to have been able to make friends, but I was really also trying to
go outside
give myself a pep talk to go outside of my comfort zone because I'm not usually the one to approach people. Again, if you know me, this is probably news to you because you've only known me as this person that's really outgoing, but I'm only outgoing when I have a person with me that I am close to.
Yeah.
Like it somehow gives me the permission and the energy to socialize.
I can see that.
But if I'm by myself, when you found me, I was just quiet in class.
Yep. I do remember that. And I think because you were quieter, I felt it more comfortable.
And you were wrong because I was not quiet after that.
Yeah, but at the same time, it like brought me out too. So normally, like I'm used to being more reserved. I think people meet me at first and they think I'm reserved back then in high school. Like, I think that's what everybody thought I would be like. But then when you get to know me, then I'm much more extroverted too. But it still takes a while. I think for me, I sometimes also present as even more outgoing to like not decompensate, compensate for what I'm feeling internally, which is a lot of anxiety and insecurities back then. So then I like push myself to like get out there and be louder.
And that worked.
And it worked. Yeah.
That's actually, what did I say? Fake it to make it. Yes. Fake it till you make it.
Yes. Yep.
And that actually does work. Mm-hmm. At least, sorry, in our experience, fake it till you make it has worked. But seriously, what a relief by the time you find your people. Yeah. That you don't have to drain your energy so much to fake it till make it. Mm-hmm. You just are. You just become. Yeah. You know, and seriously, I loved it. You know, the way our friendship progressed, you know, the way that we were just able to click immediately.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. That was like, what, 16 years old? I was 17.
Were you 17?
I was 16. You were 15.
I mean, I graduated at 16. Yeah, so we met like 15, 14-ish. Yeah.
Yeah. So also our similar culture helped a lot.
Yeah, we're both Filipinos.
Yeah, I feel like the reason why I was also so much shyer than before was because I felt I couldn't I wasn't like with other people in my school, I didn't have a lot of commonalities with them because of things that they did and like do I couldn't do. So I know once we started hanging out, I was like, oh, we have both strict parents. We come from the Filipino culture. I felt safe to not be like, I can share whatever with you.
Yeah, with no pressure. Yeah. And this might sound like we're going off topic, but this is actually really good background as we move along with our podcast to know the background of me and Mary and where we're both coming from. I feel like, yeah, you're right. We've both come from a home that's like with really strict parents. We couldn't really go out. It was really hard to even get permission to sleep over Mary's house. And for sure, Mary could not sleep over my house at all. And so other, American friends didn't really understand why at our age we're not allowed to go out. Yeah. We're not allowed to do a lot of things.
Which actually, now sometimes we talk about this, we're like, we get it.
We get it now, okay? And we would want to touch on that later on, but
especially like Parenthood.
There's suddenly some of the parenting things that are that we were raised with makes sense. Not to say that it's right.
Yeah. They just also did it in a way that was like not like it didn't help us understand.
Exactly.
Because for them it was just like, this is the rule, follow it, no questions.
Right. Yeah. And I don't think they understood it fully either. But I think now it kind of makes sense. The anxieties, I guess at least the anxieties behind their choices. Yeah. Made sense, especially when you are in a country that is new or a country that is foreign to you as well, that you're still getting to know. Yeah. It just makes sense. So yeah, that's basically our history. What's next?
Oh yeah, so our questions.
So let's get into the questions.
So with being dinks, when did you start questioning children?
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. I was thinking about this earlier. Honestly, I had this idea, and I'm sure many people have this, where you're like, okay, I'm gonna, find a partner and eventually you're gonna start a family. Um, and I thought that was just gonna happen eventually. It's gonna happen later on. Like I don't have to think about it right now. And when Yon and I got married, I think that's when I started feeling the reality of things. One, because my mom is already pressuring me immediately. I'm telling you that we just said I do's, we kissed, this is at the beach, and the next thing you know, my mom pulls me aside and was like, "Are you still on birth control?" Immediately was already asking me. Just like the natural progression of things. Like you get married and next thing you know, everyone's gonna ask you, when are you gonna start having babies? So then I started questioning that. Yeah. And for me, it was around, when I turned 30-ish and got married. Mm-hmm. What about for you? When did you actually start to really, take it seriously, I guess?
Like question it?
Yeah.
So when I started questioning children, I feel like it was longer for me, a longer time, just because I grew up thinking that I was going to have 4 kids. Like, I had this like timeline in my head where 2 girls, 2 boys. And I remember thinking in high school, I was like, by the time I'm 21, I'll be married. By the time I'm 25, we'll start having kids. So that before 30, I would have, so-and-so kids. Which is like crazy because no, what?
Wait, when were you thinking about 4 kids? Like what age?
Like high school, like middle school, high school. Cause like I remember being like the one like takes care of the kids at home, like all the cousins. Like my mom would be telling me I was almost like grown to want that bread, I guess.
Ooh.
To want that. Yeah,
you were bred.
Yeah, because
you were groomed. You were groomed to want to have babies.
Honest, I don't know if it's because of just my interpretation of how people would say, "Oh, you're so good. You're good with kids. You're good with babies." Mm-hmm. I took care of Gabe, my little brother, who's not little anymore. He's 11 years younger than me. So when I turned 11, that was like my role. It was like being a caregiver and a semi-mom.
Teen mom.
11-year-old. Yeah.
True life. I was a teen mom.
But I enjoyed taking care of babies.
Did you enjoy taking care of Gabe? Say it now.
As a baby, yes.
Gabe, if you're listening to
as a baby, it was fun at times. But yeah, as I grew up, I was like, oh yeah, I can do this. So in my head, 2 girls, 2 boys. I grew up with 3 brothers and me, the only girl. And so I remember thinking I want to have another like girl so that I wasn't the only. I was thinking I don't want someone to be the only girl because I always wanted a sister. So 2 girls, 2 boys was in my head. I did not want a sister. Yeah. So then let's see what age. I went to nursing school. And I think I still was thinking about kids at the time, but I realized I was already 23 when I graduated. And so I cannot complete the timeline in what I thought would be, right?
What do you mean?
Because remember I said I wanted to have kids before 20, or by the time I'm 25, I wanted to have.
That's right.
Like be married by 21.
Ooh.
Kids. Well, from 21 to 25, I'm like, while I'm married, not have kids during that time and just have, just be dinks for like 4 years.
Yeah.
And then 25, start having kids and hopefully pop out a few before 30. So obviously I wasn't there. By the time I graduated nursing school, I'm like, now I just want to have fun. Now I just want to like travel. I want to like do things that I couldn't do before. But then I met
Wait, stop.
Jake.
Hold on. Why has that always been showing there?
What are you talking about?
That stop? Oh my god.
What do you mean?
This. I would be so pissed if it's always been there.
Wait. Isn't that just like stop record?
What the heck?
Uh-oh. I didn't notice that.
No! Welcome back.
Welcome back, guys.
Sorry. Yeah, we did have some technical difficulties, but I feel like we've got it now.
Yeah.
The mic, definitely.
Where was I?
Yeah, you were doing the I think the question was, when did you start thinking about kids?
Yes. Or questioning.
Questioning.
When did I start questioning kids? So, when I was in nursing school, when I graduated from nursing school, I realized I was like 23, 24. I realized I wasn't going to get to that timeline that I had previously put my own life on, which was by 25, I would have been married and trying for kids by 25. And so that was going to happen. And when I graduated nursing school, I was like, I now just want to work, have fun, have more freedom, travel, stuff like that. So then I met Jake around 24. I think I was 24.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I met Jake when I was 24. And then, long story short, I thought he was just going to be a fling, but turned into my future husband.
Wow. Jake, wow.
But then in that relationship, it allowed me to... He was the one who kind of allowed me to have my own, like, what desires I wanted. Like, not what he didn't expect me to give him children, basically. Only if I wanted to. Like, that was really the pivotal moment.
Ooh.
Pivotal. Pivotal moment in my life where I was like, okay, there's someone, my partner, my person is really letting me decide for myself, not expecting me to bear children for him.
He was not breeding you to have children.
Basically.
Actually, sidebar.
Yeah.
I remember the very first time you told me and Cindy that you don't want kids.
Yeah.
We were definitely, I don't know if you remember, but we were very shocked because the whole time Mary was just talking about how much she wanted a baby, like she wanted like a cute, chubby baby, and all of that like when she said that she didn't want babies anymore, we were like, Jake, what kind of fucking poison are you feeding into our girl's head? But now we know that it's just, he was just opening your eyes, to the possibility that there could be a life for you without children, that you can make that choice for yourself.
For myself, yeah.
And honestly, that changed something in me too.
Oh, yeah.
That started to really make something bloom in my head. You planted that seed in my head. Another reason why I think you're such an influencer for me. It planted a seed, honestly, in my head that, someone could just say, I don't want kids. I thought that was such a wild concept at that time. Like, why wouldn't you want kids?
Yeah. And I think for me, just because it wasn't sudden, right? It was first, I was thinking maybe, right? And then the next thing I was like, people at work, I started to talk more openly about not wanting kids only at work. Because in all other aspects of my life, obviously my family wouldn't have wanted to hear that. But I did play with that idea more so, where I was like, I don't want kids. And sometimes I would say, I don't want kids yet. But I think more at work, I really let that idea,
like you embraced it more.
And then as I got, time went on, there was still that pull for me, because family is such a big part of the culture and who I'm around. So I think in a lot of when we have holidays, a lot of times I have this idea where it's like, oh, this would be nice to bring a child in this environment with my cousins and like their kids. And so I still had that desire, but I didn't know if that was coming from just during family times and holidays or if it's coming from really my value. Whoops.
Oh, you know what? Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
No, because I was going to say this actually brings me to like a good question, like the next question that I wanted us to talk about is like, what were I guess like when you started to consider having kids, what were the pros and cons, right? Like what were the reasons that you would have wanted to have kids versus what made you decide, oh no, this isn't for me. Oh. And I think like for me, what you just mentioned was one of my reasons why I wanted to have a kid was because, you know, Filipinos we're a big family. We're really close to our cousins, second cousins, whoever. And we've all grown up in such a tight knit like family or community that it was just nice to think that like our future generations, like, oh, if I had kids, they would have this too. They would have what I grew up knowing, like awesome cousins. They would have best friends, like instant best friends. And that's just so nice, you know, to have a big family. Yep. That was definitely one of my pros.
Yeah. There was the book I think I told you guys about before.
What's the name of the book again?
The Baby Decision book.
Okay.
And I decided to buy that book because I really wanted to explore like my true values around it, about exploring not wanting to have kids and exploring possibly having a kid.
Yeah.
And that book kind of goes through all of it. And the very last chapter, or the last few chapters, kind of gave me more of a arrow towards this idea that I looked at my partner, Jake, and there's this exercise they say, like when you're at the end of your, towards the end of your life, or you're just older, you're in a rocking chair, what are the things, if you're sitting there, it's like an exercise, what are some things you would want to look back on, right? Wherever you are, like you're at home or in a nursing home, just what would you see? And I think I saw myself wanting to have a piece of Jake, whether it was, I wanted something, a part of him and a part of myself that is left. And that was, I think, the thing that made me really decide that I wanted to try to have a kid. Not necessarily that it was going to be something that would make or break my life.
Yeah.
But I would want to try for one because I would want to have something of him and I, like in a form that lives on, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
And so that was the big thing that I was like, okay, I want that. Because the other thing that came to my mind at that time is if Jake dies before I do, having a piece of him not having a piece of him with me would be devastating.
Yeah.
So that was like my thing. So yeah, that was a particular exercise in the book that made me kind of point the direction towards having kids. And then also it goes into having one kid versus more than one kid. And there is a lifestyle of families where they specifically maintain one child households.
Yeah.
And that is fine. And I didn't think about that. I think before I always thought, of course, it's either all or nothing. It's either I have no kids or more than one kid.
Yeah.
Because that's what, I don't know, society expects. That's what the culture expects. That's what everybody expects. And so I think with all of the values and the things that I want, like a goal for mine and like my marriage and my life, I can have kind of the best of both worlds with one kid.
Yeah.
So, and again, if it doesn't happen for me for whatever reason, because I'm 38 now, then at least I feel like I tried.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's a good way to go about it.
Yeah.
You know, I did like you said that it's a part of you, like you'll have something of you and Jake out into the world.
Yeah.
You know, and I this is like another topic probably for another day, and this is kind of like a hot topic, but remember how I was talking about how deciding to have kids is kind of like innately selfish, but
no, it's true.
That's probably a hot topic, and I want to like touch on that another time, but that's definitely one of the questions that I struggled with. I feel like I remembered asking like some of my cousins before, like, why would you want to have a kid? You know, what's the reason why? And to me, not that I was calling them selfish, but I think it was me thinking that there's just really not a good reason to want to. Okay. Anyway, as I was saying, I persisted on with the idea that I still wanted to have kids because, you know, being married, I was looking at my husband and I'm like, man, we're going to make such cute babies. If you see my baby picture with Jan's baby picture, I mean, just cutie pies, you know? And again, the other reason is like, yeah, the big family, the idea of having our kids be besties with our other like nephews and nieces. And I always thought that emotionally, especially now after like my journey of like therapy and like self-reflection and growing, I feel like emotionally me and Johan would be good parents. However, the cons started to kind of supersede those supersede. I don't even know if I use that word correctly, but anyway, it started to kind of cloud over the reasons of like wanting to have a kid, which one is finances, you know, it's just like a lot of money to raise a kid, you know, obviously. And my mom's like, oh, well, you guys can totally do that. I mean, you guys have all this money for, you know, to buy your toys or whatever. And I get that, but I think having kids is still an investment and you're going to have them for years.
It's the parenthood part.
Right. Yeah. And to me, I just don't know if we were there. The other thing too is current climate, if I could just be honest about that, you know, just like bringing a child into this current state of where our country's at. And also the safety of kids, I think I fear for that. And shout out to the parents out there who are so brave of like, you know, I'm sure they think about this all the time. It's not just me.
Oh yeah, we
you
hear
know,
it.
Right. And we hear it from our friends, from our family. And yet they still go out there with the belief that things will be okay, right? That they're sending out their kids into the world and they're going to make a positive like effect on people. And that's great. But I think like for me, it was just like that moment that told me and also Johan, we've had to have that talk that it's like, I just don't think this is for us right now. And we've always moved the goalpost of maybe next year, we'll do it next year, and we've really started to explore, fertility stuff. We've seen OBGYNs, we've done tests and all that stuff. But as soon as the doctor goes, oh, well, we could do IVF, I could send a referral to start you on some medication stuff, I freeze. And I never really paid attention to it. I think it takes me a long time to accept certain things. Yeah. Much like it took me a long time to accept that I wasn't going to do nursing anymore. Yeah. Okay. You know how many times I renewed my license and paid that $290 fine or whatever, or like that fee. And I never even worked as a nurse. But it took me a long time to let go of the idea. I think if I made a final decision, it's really over. Yeah. And it's the same thing about having kids. If I said, we're done, we're not going to have kids, I feel like I'm making such a final decision, and it was really hard for me to accept that. Because you never really know I remember that's one of the reasons why you did the book. Yeah. Because you were also faced with this dilemma or fear. It's like, if we decide not to have kids, are we going to regret it? Yeah. Yep. And that's a big thing to think about, to consider. And it's only really women that have to think about that. Yep. Not women and, people with bodies like us. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. It's having to decide that, and will we regret it? But dude, like I remember thinking to myself, I think whatever you decide, you're going to have to sacrifice something, yes. And you're going to regret something. And I'm not going to name names, but some people who have had kids had thought about, oh, maybe I probably shouldn't have, or my life would have been different if I didn't have kids. Yep. I don't think they regret it. Definitely. Yeah. But I think they think about what could have been. That's why I'm saying is like, no matter the decision, there will be a part of you that will grieve the other part.
Well, actually, that book talks about that. See? And the thing is, they bring in actual couples and because it's a therapist that wrote the book. So she brings in her case studies, her like case patients, and it's all that. It's totally all about like people going back and thinking about if they've regretted certain things. But the one thing that is consistent, which is the ones we have been doing, is that we've had long conversations with our partners about it. It's because what people end up not doing when they're with their significant other is that they just assume the other person wanted it, or that they're okay with not having it because they never had conversations like this. And at the end of the day, as long as you have consistent conversations about these big decisions, there's less regret, because you tend to tell what you really want with hopefully your partner, and there's no judgment, or there's no pressure or anything like that. So as long as you have that talk and you continue having the talk, because some people's minds do change. Yes. And your partner might not feel comfortable saying it, maybe because you're so strongly for one or the other. So as long as you just keep the conversation going, there's less regret that people have, and less resentment too.
That's key, actually. And so if we ever have listeners that are questioning yeah. or maybe not married, or don't have a partner just yet, and maybe one day you're faced with this, just know that it is absolutely normal and actually essential to have multiple conversations on this. And I would say, me and Johan have had multiple conversations, and it's over time it was yes, we'll have kids. Like I said, we kept moving the goalposts, And then I think maybe 2 months ago, we were on a drive and we really just talked about it. We really just addressed it then. And I said, hey, I feel like we've danced around this. We've been doing this dance for years. And I think it's time, like, we really should make a call, because he would always be like, oh, I think we should just think about it next year. And I'm like, homie, I don't have next year and next year and next year, not like men do. We have eggs that are like running out. I have one ovary left.
You have to prepare your body.
I have to prepare my body, and not everyone gets pregnant at the freaking first try. Some people try for years. And I know that I was going to face that as well. So it was really an important conversation to have, to be like, okay, what are we really doing? Because sometimes, at some point you kind of have to make a decision.
Yeah.
And we did, and here's the thing that I was thinking when we finally said those words. It was a relief.
Yeah.
And I think that just told me everything I needed to know.
Yeah.
Because once we said that, it was like I was letting go of this big cloud.
Yeah.
And also I was just thinking about it. If we ever want to have kids later on, we can always adopt.
Yeah.
Me and Johan are not opposed to that.
Yeah.
I know some people might have some feelings about adopting because they're not your own blood. Yeah. Again, it's like there's always going to be one of those decisions that you're gonna regret over the other, sacrifices that you're making, blah, blah, blah. But I think for us, if it really comes down to that we're older and we're like, hey, we really want a kid, it's going to be more about just because we want to love a kid and not because I want to see like little kids that look like us. Yeah. I think if we ever get to that point, it will be because of that.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
That makes so much sense too, because that's the value, right? The value, what you guys value in the future would be the parenthood part, not just the child or a biological child. And I think that's the beauty of like being like having that influence over young people in general, is that like us with our partners, one of the reasons why I also want to have a kid is I want to kind of give our love and what, because we didn't grow up in a household that showed love like us, like to our partners.
Speak on it.
Right? So how beautiful it would be to bring a person into the world with healthy love, equal love, and just with our partners, So however you do that, whether it's with an adopted kid or a foster kid or a nephew and niece, it's just that in itself is beautiful. And that's why I think, like I said, if it doesn't happen for us because I waited too long or the goalposts keep moving, whatever it is, I think I'm okay with that, with being dinks.
Yeah. Yeah. I think period. Clock in one of these. Whatever. We're such boomers, okay?
Millennials.
Okay, my bad. We're millennials.
Yeah.
But that's beautiful. So you would say, final answer, you and Jake do want a kid.
We do want a kid. We are, maybe, who knows, we might be in the same position you guys were years ago, which is moving the goalposts. I don't know. But we are seeing people, we're, making appointments and preparing my body. Not fertility stuff, but just like...
At least just knowing where you're at.
Like getting tests on like, I don't know what you call those tests, but fertility tests, right?
Yeah.
Genetic testing or
Get the swimmers tested.
Yes, that one. So those kinds of things, like we have appointments for. And I think as of right now, if we don't try, the trying part I might regret.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and that was another thing that I considered too. I mean, at least we were doing something. and if the decision was made for me. I mean, kind of like what, in July I had surgery because I had a cyst on
That's right.
my ovary. And yeah, we also, that was another point
Oh, that's right.
of our conversation, because we were prepping ourselves for what might occur, because the OB was like, okay, well, we're going to splice the cyst. We're not going to take it out because it could damage the ovary, the one remaining ovary that I have. So we're just going to splice it. But there is still a chance that, one, we could damage the ovary, or two, that this might not just be a benign cyst
Mm-hmm.
and we'd have to remove it anyway. So all that made us have another conversation of what the possibilities would be, and what that means for us.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that was another one of those things where, well, hey, at least we tried, right? We've done all that we could. If after that surgery they said that, your ovary, we had to remove it, then it was a decision made for me.
Yeah.
Fortunately, my ovary is fine.
Yeah.
And I was like, darn, I thought they were gonna make a decision for me, but it's okay. But at least now we're there. So yeah,
Look at us.
look at us. Who would have thought, huh? Not me.
Oh not me.
Not me. Look at us deciding on kids. That's crazy.
Wow. This is true adulting, though.
Yeah.
Gosh.
What a big thing to think about, honestly. I mean,
it's a lot.
this
There's
is
a lot of tears.
Yeah.
A lot of tears.
And to really, we're really privileged, I think.
Mm-hmm.
We're really privileged to be here in this time that we can, that we are allowed to make these choices, that we can decide for ourselves in our bodies. Our partners are supportive, and also know that ultimately the decisions will be on us, because we're the ones that's going to be carrying the children. We're the ones who's going to be putting our bodies through everything. And so they're just so supportive of that.
That's very true, actually.
And we're so privileged, we're so lucky to have partners that are great.
They don't define us by what
yeah,
what we can
exactly. And that's another thing. It's like, I'm so, oh my God, I remember Johan was just like, I'm really happy with us. I'm really happy with our life. I really don't need anything more.
Yeah.
But obviously, if we were blessed to have a kid, we would be happy with it. But if not, we were already happy with how we are. And, that was really nice. I really loved hearing that. And yeah, what a time to be alive that we can make these decisions. So if I feel like if we had never started talking to each other about having the choice, especially with our backgrounds, if we never talked about these things, we wouldn't have known. We would have just kept operating with the same idea that, oh, we're going to have kids.
Yep.
And then what?
Yeah. I don't
know. I don't want to think about it. Anyway, so what's next for us?
Well, I mean, that pretty much sums up our Dinks journey so far.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I think we've pretty much covered a lot of bases. We've talked about what led us here, what our decisions are. But there's more to discuss, honestly.
Sure.
More, I think that we want to start covering part of the culture aspects of these things.
See, I wish we started this podcast a while ago.
For real.
Because all the conversations we had. Remember, this might be off a little sidetrack, but I remember us talking about this in our Vegas trip. Remember? You, me, and Cindy on the bed, and how I was like, that was when I was a little bit more no, I don't think I'm going to have kids.
Yeah.
And Cindy was she was a little bit being, what did she say?
Oh, our girls trip.
Yeah.
Was that earlier this year?
No, it was last year.
Oh, okay.
Last year.
Okay.
Well, yeah, our Vegas 20 years. That was our 20 years.
20 years.
Oh, that was last year. That was last year, 2024.
Okay.
April.
Cool.
Anyways, but I just remember that conversation with Cindy because I think we were talking about, I was talking about, well, if I don't have kids and I want some later on, maybe adoption. You know, I remember us talking about that on the bed. I just remember that. But those are the conversations we've had as friends where I'm like, oh, I wish we recorded that.
Yeah. I mean, those were really honest conversations. I feel like tequila was a part of that. But it was very honest. I'm not saying that we only have honest conversations when we have tequila, but I'm just saying, like, whoa, even Cindy was having some raw opinions on kids, which you will never really hear about all the time. So, but anyway, we do hope to have her here on the podcast as well to give her insights, since she is the one with a baby. She's always ahead of us, you know. She's the person that like starts everything. And then we follow.
She for sure wanted children,
and that she for sure is born
never questioned
to be a mom. I mean, she's so great.
I know. Wish she was my mom.
She's killing it. Yeah, actually, I would want to have Cindy as my mommy. Mm-hmm. She kind of is right now. Hi, Cindy. She makes me a plate. She gets me napkins because she's like, oh, there's a lot of sauce on your lips. You know, stuff like that. I mean, she is the mom of this group, to be honest.
She really is. Yeah.
Anyway, so we knew, I mean, she was definitely born to be a mom. Mm-hmm. And man, these kids are so lucky.
Maybe they can be guests one of these days.
Yeah, we can interview Jevin. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But yeah, I just to wrap things up, I think that in future episodes, we want to explore more about parenting, about
our daily
lives as dinks. And also just like, you know, even for me, you know, deciding not to have kids, what's my future going to look like?
Well, like marriage stuff, marriage relationships, friendships, family.
Yeah, because our life doesn't end here. Just because I said I won't have kids, that's it? Yeah. No, I mean, there's so much more that I can explore besides having kids. I think that's the part of it that opened my mind up about deciding this life, right? What else is out there?
Yeah.
So yeah, with that said, I think we can wrap up our first podcast. Oh, but before we wrap up, actually, I think we wanted to say something like, what's one thing we are grateful for this week?
This is your thing, though. Is lucky girl syndrome.
Yeah.
Like outlook. What am I thankful for this week? Or something positive that happened this week? I guess this week I am thankful for the time I've had like with my friends and family, and it's not what happened this week, but I feel like
it was fresh.
Yeah.
It just happened.
So true. Yeah. We've I am just thankful because I do have so much time. I have been able to like cultivate good friendships, solid quality friendships, and just getting healthier in my outlook in life and spending time with friends and family. And I'm thankful for that, really. I can't think of anything else. And we're going to be going on a trip soon.
Yes, we're going to Atlanta.
I'm thankful for that. Thankful
for the ability to be able to travel and to travel with your friends. Yeah. Love that. Friends / sisters. You know what I'm thankful for this week? And this is in line with the topic. Mm-hmm. Last night, I was sitting here. We're recording here in the townhouse. I had the lights dimmed and everything after work. I had like my vibe set. You know, the light here. I got my lights over there. You know, no big lights. No big lights. Just the warm warm lights, okay? I had that on. I was like sitting here by myself, playing some music, and I go, man, so peaceful here. And I love that.
Yeah.
And I was just thinking, oh my God, like I wouldn't have this moment if I had kids. Again, I'm not hating, but I'm just saying is like, I remember Katrina sent me this TikTok. It was like, imagine you're having the worst day of your life. And then you come home and a little kid goes, Mommy, what are we having for dinner? I swear to you, I would crumble. I would freaking crumble. What do you mean? What do you mean what's for dinner? Oh my gosh. So yeah, I mean, it's just been really kind of hectic with work lately that after work, I would just come up here, lay down on the couch, turn down all the lights, listen to music, and just disassociate. If I had kids, I wouldn't have that time because you have humans that are relying on you. You know, I don't hate on kids, but I'd be hating on. I love kids, but it's me. You know, it's this is the part about realizing and being honest about my limitations. I know that I can do it. If I had a kid, obviously I would feed them. Obviously I would take care of them, but I won't have that time for me that I have now. And it's like, it's one of those things like, are you ready to give that up? Are you going to be okay to give that up? I remember Auntie Angie asked me that and my brain was like, not computing. Like, what do you mean? She goes, you won't be napping again. You won't have days where you're not doing anything again. And that was such a hard thing to let go of. Yeah. Anyway, I feel lucky about that. That's what I'm grateful for. I'm grateful that I was able to enjoy that time. I was able to dissociate.
Yes.
And not have to worry about little beings that rely on me.
Yeah. Whew. So, well, I'm lucky for that too, as of right now.
For now. Anyway, that being said, if you've made it this far, thank you for listening to the podcast. Sorry about the little technical difficulties.
There's a couple in there, huh?
But, we'll iron this out pretty soon. Yeah. We'll figure it out.
We will.
Anyway, yeah. Bye.
Okay.